Alright then, hello everybody, this is the EpicGamingGuru, and I have a lot to explain, a lot to talk about, and a whole amount of goddamn questions and answers that I have to go through here on this channel, because this is basically a way of saying thank you to everybody, by the way, at the same time for checking out the channel and looking through all the content, all the shorts, all the videos. It's been a crazy year. It's been a crazy year, and because of the fact that I've already made a previous video that was over 10 months old, talking about updates to the channel, I decided to go ahead and make another one because of the fact that, again, 10 months away from a video for updates is pretty crazy. So a lot of the things that have happened have also been really freaking wild, and a lot of the shorts I make and so on is all thanks to you and everybody else involved. And I don't even know why I have my earphones on if I'm not actually listening to anything. Let me go ahead and break a lot of questions down for you guys, because a lot of you have asked some pretty important questions, both on comments, both on stream, and everywhere else. Like, it's been a pretty goddamn huge plateau of questions that I've kept getting asked. So let me go ahead and just break each one of these down. A lot of these involve the streams, the videos, comments, and God knows what else. Like, I'm literally trying to keep track of everything, and it's been like months on end that I haven't even got a chance to get remotely close to answering these. So I'm gonna finally go ahead and get into them. So let's go ahead and get started. First question, is the channel still getting any videos? Yes. Absolutely. I wouldn't be making this video right now if it wasn't. And there's going to be a lot more videos to break down a lot of stuff. I'm going to try to see if I can get them done as fast as I can, while also trying to keep the quality as high as physically possible under basically whatever skill circumstance I would have to be able to make the video that way, unless I have to make like a quick shot and puck like this one. So let's move on to the next question. Why is content taking so long? I think I've actually explained this in a previous video. I'm actually surprised that question popped up again. The reason why content is taking so long is because of the fact that I'm using DaVinci Resolve as an actual editing software, and I don't hire or have any editors that are in this channel involved in any way. And the reason that is because I would not be able to pay off a single person, not even an artist at this rate, to be able to make any form of content that would help my channel. Like, at this rate, everything is hands-on, just being done by me. I'm sorry to give the bad news on that, but I'm not going to be able to hire anybody for either emotes, content, or anything like that. Everything is solely done for me, and it is taking me a while, but it is worth it in the end. So let's move on to the next question. Why not post random content? That is a very good question. That is actually a genuine question. There's so many content creators right now who are basically making content based around what their channel is supposed to be on, because back in the day when YouTube didn't have like a crazy algorithm, making random content was a good idea. But nowadays, making random content can make or break a YouTube channel, or even a streaming channel, or anything involving as such. Because if your content is not based around a certain, like, I would say, buoyancy of a certain category, probably the best way to describe it, you won't actually be getting as much views or having your content pushed out there as, sorry about that, or have your content pushed out there as much as it can be on YouTube, because it doesn't make sense with what your channel is. And then on top of that, more than likely the viewers coming in we're trying to probably find something else. They're going to dislike what they're seeing, and then your video might just die. So that's why I don't just post random content on YouTube. It used to be a good thing back then, now not so much. On shorts, you kind of get away with that, but not as much either. You're better off trying to keep everything as closely related to your channel as possible. So that's the best way I could possibly answer that question. Let's move on. Who is really editing all the video content? You know what? I'm gonna go Bob Ross on that one. There's no such thing. Dumb questions. Stupid questions. Just happy little accidents. Okay, I'm just messing around. I'm not gonna be that mean about it. No, it's just me. Like, there's literally nobody else. I'm literally the only one who's editing all these videos. There's nobody else working on this content. Let's move on. Your shorts are getting traction. Why not make more? You guys really love asking me some of the hardest questions I can answer. So the thing about making the shorts, let me go ahead and break this down. Not every single short that I make is going to be a banger. And not all of my shorts are going to have 1,000, 2K, 3K, 4K, 5K, freaking like 15,000, 30,000 or whatever shorts. Like, it doesn't happen. It doesn't work that way. The algorithm will literally either push the shorts longer and further, or they won't. Like, shorts usually die off within the span of 24 to 48 hours upon their release with most content creators. And then after that, it will either continuously grow or it's just going to die off. it's shorts anyway, so it doesn't make you feel like you're wasting a lot of time with shorts. But the problem with shorts is that there is something really annoying about it with YouTube that I have yet to talk about. I'll throw that here at the end of the video so I can describe everything, because it is quite a bit of an explanation. To answer that question, like why I don't just constantly influx shorts and whatever, it actually hurts your channel if you try to upload way more shorts within like a very short span versus just doing it on schedule. So that is like the best way for me to answer that question. Also, it depends on the tags, title, what's happening in the shorts. If anything in the short is related to it, does it make sense of the description? And yeah, no, that is a good question, but yeah, no, it's all algorithm based with that. I can't post more than 2 to 4 shorts per day. If I do more than that, it's gonna kill off any of the extra shorts that I try to make beyond that. And YouTube is already barely letting me slim by doing stuff like that. So that is the best way to answer that question. So let's move on. I'm lost. Which platforms are you mostly active in? A lot of them except Twitter. When it comes to Twitter, that is one of the only few ones that I refuse to get active in anymore. Like, the algorithm on Twitter is fucking terrible, man. Like, it's literally the most dog shit stuff that I'm seeing, despite a few handful of content creators that I do actually follow on there, and I do appreciate a lot of the work and the stuff they do. But the thing is that Twitter just feeds you whatever slop it kinda understands that you like, and will give you some of the most flamboyant, stupid shit that you will ever see on the planet that has absolutely nothing to do with the categories you are interested in. That is why I mostly am not active on Twitter. You will find me ironically on Blue Sky though. So that's the best way to answer that question. So let's move on. So number 7, who is making the art or thumbnails for the channel? You're looking at them. Next question. Why do you always wear a white shirt? Cause it's hot as balls where I live. Not making that up. It is super hot around here. Guys, it gets like 90 to 100 degrees where I live. It is October 24th and it's about to be near the end of the month and it's still hot. And normally this is supposed to be fall and it's hot. Let that sink in. It's normally supposed to be cold. That is how hot it gets down here. So that answers that question. Number 9, why is the room so dark that you stream in? You know what? Sure. Here, I'll answer that question. Because it's literally just a bedroom. Like, it's just a bedroom. So that is like the best way I can answer that question. It just gets way too freaking bright in here if I turn on lights. I am telling you. And yes, I understand, why don't I just buy a streaming light or whatever? Well, now I'm gonna have a blinding ass ring of light over my face while I'm trying to stream or do any form of content or whatever. Okay, why does your microphone sound better through a recording versus an edit? Okay, that is actually a pretty good question. So the thing that I find kind of funny about that is that the microphone that I'm using is actually a Blue Ice, but DaVinci software just hates the Blue Ice microphone. I don't know why, but despite the fact that this microphone is actually a very high and good quality and it can pick up like the smallest sound, I swear. Like, if you're just anywhere near between a 1 to 2 foot proximity of that microphone, it will pick it up. It's also been known to pick up other sounds in my room. It's also pretty loud and so on. Like, I had to put on a lot of filters just to make that thing work even through OBS, but in reality I only needed one. And when I did that and tried to work with it with DaVinci, it just doesn't like the song audio files. So I don't know what's going on with that. Could be something that my Blue Ice microphone is about 5 to 6 years old at this point, so it could be based on that, but it could also be based on a whole bunch of other circumstances. For some weird reason, that is true. It is always my regular microphone that sounds way better versus me editing it through DaVinci sometimes. And even through DaVinci, I only use like maybe 1 or 2 filters with an OBS microphone recording, but as soon as I try to record just my microphone to DaVinci takes a shit and it splatters it all over the fucking walls. It really depends on the edit, depends on the context of the video, and a whole other bunch of other aspects. Like, it's a whole in-depth thing. That is the best way to describe it. So let's move on to the next question. Why not schedule your editing? Oh, fuck. Okay, well, yeah. That is a good question. Why not schedule my editing? It's impossible. There's so much content that I still need to go through with this channel that it's impossible to edit every little thing through on a schedule. There was a video I've had that literally took me almost a week to get done just because of the fact that I did not get a chance to ever edit it properly. And even then, when I uploaded it through YouTube, I saw my mistakes. And despite that, I still left it there because some of the mistakes I make on my videos, they're actually pretty goddamn funny. I call them like basically tiny Easter eggs you might be able to find. That is the best way to answer that question, because the thing is that with scheduling editing, it's almost impossible. Like, depending on the circumstances of a video, I might either make it short, might make it long, might make it ridiculously easy to edit. I don't know. It really depends on the context of the video. Number 12, what is your schedule of your live streams usually? Friday all the way to Sunday from 5 p.m. I can't remember if it was US Central or not. I completely lost track of that. No, it is mostly just on a regular schedule from Friday to Sunday at 5 p.m. And then it doesn't really end on a time actually, because normally I end the stream whenever I usually feel like it. And if I'm getting too tired or so on, and I notice that my timer is already reaching like way over 5 hours in the live stream, I am not going to continue on beyond that. That is like the usual normal time that I stop. But yes, I usually start from 5 p.m. and I don't end it until like way later on in the night. So usually some can go from 5 hours, and I've had literal streams that lasted up to 14 to 16 hours in the past. Like it was insane. I'll let you guys know if the schedule ever does change from there, but that's always been the case. It's always usually been the weekends. Why is there no collabs with your channel? Holy balls, I get the hard questions really hard today. Holy fuck, man. What do you mean? What do you mean? I have done actual scheduled collabs on my live stream in the past. They've just all been on Twitch. I'm gonna break that down. It's just that, God, that has a history. Okay. The funny thing is about collabs with my live streams, I've done them in the past. I've done several of them. In fact, I've done even recent ones with people I can fully trust. The funny thing is that with collabs, here's my issue with collabs. In the past, I usually had an actual team. It used to be like another two VTubers that we would normally stream together and so on. We would have fun. There was actually a moment on my stream where one of these VTubers, and I'm just going to call him XYZ because I really don't care about that person at all, considering all the bad circumstances that happened with that guy. Like, Jesus Christ, like there is a whole history. Again, this is not a drama channel. This is not anything that involves story type channel. So let me just explain this one little story without involving anybody. So what happened is that as we were live streaming, we were playing a specific game. I can't really remember what it was. I think it was Deep Rock. And what happened is that as we were live streaming, this person literally just out of nowhere, I thought I misheard him, but no, this is literally what he says on his own live stream with us while we're collaborating. I think all NSFW artists are complete sluts and so on. Like, I'm pretty sure they're just a bunch of horny whore bags and so on. Like, the dude was just going on and on and on. And like, I didn't even want to step a fucking foot into that debate. I don't even understand why he brought that up out of nowhere. It was one of the most random subjects, like the most random shit I've ever heard anybody say on their live streams. Like, it was so unorthodox and random that I was just silent when it happened. I was completely confused as to why he would say that. And then he immediately after that just kills it off completely by stating that a very specific person that we all personally knew was the biggest NSFW horror artist of all. And I'm just like hearing him go off and off about it. I'm just like, dude, are we live streaming Deep Rock or are we live streaming a goddamn debate? Like, what are you talking about? I was stuck in serious amounts of like confusion that whole time because it was just out of nowhere. It was a completely random thing out of the blue. The guy literally jumped from having like 20 to 30 views as a small streamer down to like 1 or 2 just because he said that. And this is why I mostly don't talk about massive opinions or anything like that on live streams, because it kind of just makes me want to get away from that, because I'm already seeing enough arguments and debates in real life to a point where I don't want that shit involved in my fucking live streams. Next question. Which platforms do you mostly stream on? Okay, so that is a very good question. It's mostly just going to be Twitch and YouTube now. I did figure out how to do restreams, and despite I had to figure out how to work around Restream.io. That was a fucking nightmare and a half. And I'm not even being sarcastic about that. Working with Restream.io is a massive nightmare. You have to edit everything through their dock in order to be able to even get anything done on YouTube especially. For Twitch, it's a little bit more simplified. For YouTube, I keep forgetting that I still need to make thumbnails and so on before I even get to a fucking live stream, which is free. I'm at least able to get it done, and I'll be able to basically post up that thumbnail and title and fucking tags and description and a fucking yeah, no, that is the whole reason it takes me a while to ever do forms of live streams on YouTube, because it making the thumbnail, changing the tags, and keep in mind that these usually are tags are between 300 to 400 words, so it's not a amount of taglines. Next question. How are the game reviews and discussions made? Research, and a lot of playthroughs, and a lot of gameplay, and a lot a freaking lot. A lot of recordings. Goddamn near 3 to 4 hours of just game footage recordings, and that could take me a whole goddamn day of playing the game. But the thing is that the reason I do that and not show the full game entirely is because you don't have to do that in game reviews, and I prefer not to actually make spoilers for games that involve that. Now, discussions though, depending on the circumstances, if there's like a huge debate like within the gaming industry or something that involves a game with updates or like something in a game that has gotten like progressively worse but then got better because of updates, look at you, Hunt Showdown, then it's like willing for me to be able to make a discussion based on it. And usually in those discussions I talk about how these games were bad if, like, for example, my previous game review was wrong because of the fact that there was an update that fixed the problems that I was talking about in that game review. I will make a discussion video and explain like why the updates made it better, or even better, just remake a whole new review, well, a whole new review of that game just to like make up for the previous one that was there. And there are a few games out there that I do need to re-review, or in this case, re-look at because of the updates, but I'll have to explain all that in the near future when I ever get to those games or those discussions at hand. So let us move on to the next question. Are you going to make more videos about Stalker, Will to Live Online, etc.? Are still requesting those? What? You're kidding, right? Like, Stalker and Will to Live Online, both those games are freaking amazing, by the way. I don't even have to make videos about those games to know that they're good. Like, both the Stalker series and Will to Live Online, whether you play Will to Live Online because it is free and it's basically another free version of Stalker, or if you play the more just single player editions of Stalker, which every single game from Stalker so far as a series has been really good, especially the way they've been going out with Stalker 2 and fixing it and making it better. It's another one of those games that I have yet to understand why I haven't talked about or made a review about it yet, because I haven't beaten it. It's that long of a game. There's so much content in those games. And the thing is, guys, is that I know this sounds strange, but if I haven't beaten a game, I can't review it because it doesn't feel right, because I haven't fully experienced the full content of a game unless I fully beat its main storyline. Then I will be freelance to basically go ahead and make a full video about it, because then it's just worth me going through, because now I know every little thing there is to know about that game based on everything that I've done on its main storyline and all the gameplay I've experienced and then all the stuff I went through and so on, so forth, or what happens with this gameplay or this story. Is the story interesting? Is the gameplay interesting? Is the level design good? Are the characters great? Are the freaking art concepts good? You see what I mean? It takes a long time. Like, there's no other way to describe it. And Stalker would be one of those games that would take me like, nah, dude, like that is like an endless game series. Like, it is super good, but god damn is it long. Alright, so that answers that question, and Will to Live Online is also endless. So, last question, why not stream daily? Oh my god, I can't believe that question legitimately got asked. Are you kidding me? I do not stream daily because of the fact that, I think I would go insane. I think I would literally go insane. I've actually streamed daily in the past, and that was when I was on vacation like years ago. And that one took me about 2 to 3 months nonstop. Daily streams, all day, every day, never freaking stopped. It was a fucking nightmare to keep up with all the content that I've done with those. And it was way too much stream hours. We're talking like, if I were to, okay, so to put it into perspective as to how much stream hours was done during those daily streams, I streamed for about 5 to 8 hours a day. That's 40 hours in just one week of 5 days. If we count the extra days on top of that, that's 54 hours in a week of nonstop live streaming. Hell no, I'm not doing that again. Yeah, that is the best way to describe that. I am not doing daily streams anymore. I am sticking to just weekend schedules, and I am not going to change back into that. I'm just not going to change back into dailies, ever. Dailies just suck the soul right out of me. That's pretty much all the questions that I have to answer on here. But either way, guys, thank you all so much for checking out this video. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. I know I sound a little bit heated right now, but that's because of the fact that I haven't barely been able to sleep, because again, I had to constantly be making content now at this rate. Like, it is going to be a sleepless schedule for the next couple of days. I have a very good, strong feeling about that. Oh, ho, ho, my butthole is going to be stretched the size of a goddamn shower drain. But either way, hope you all enjoyed it. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoyed it that much. I will be making content in the near future trying to explain every little thing, and I am already extending this video by a shit ton because I could see that it's already 30 minutes goddamn long. So either way, hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you all have a fantastic day. Hope you all are going to have a very nice incoming weekend, and until then, I'll see you all next time.